Welcome back to Roadside Nuggets, folks. My name is Georgie Boy, here with 5D. Full disclosure here this evening with you all. Gonna give you all a few moments to roll on in on Telegram. Yes, we're live on Telegram, Facebook, and YouTube. Got a quick couple of things to go over. I know probably a lot of you are probably agitated. It's a collective party we're all part of, so let's all join in. So definitely emotions are high. Definitely a lot of triggers are high. A lot of things are in the air because, as we all know, we're going through cycle dissolvement, right? So the cycle phases, or actually saying the phases of the cycles we've been stuck in are now completing and dissolving themselves. So of course, with breaking through those cycles, punching through to the other side, it's not always as easy as they say it is, and also doesn't feel as great as they make it out to be. So definitely this is where we are real about our healing and our transformation. We go through it simply just transparently and authentically as possible, and we do the best to support ourselves and everybody else, right? It's the best we can do. So moving forward, definitely hope everyone is staying grounded and staying hydrated. We are definitely I would say, like, the energy's already been around for moments, days. We've already had like CMEs, we had solar flares, all kinds of things, portals. The energy is just going to keep hyping, right? At a certain point, it's not pointless. I won't say it's pointless. At a certain point, it is irrelevant to constantly keep consuming more and more information. What's going on now? What's this doing? What's the sun doing? What's these stars doing? What does it mean? And you gotta kind of just be in the experience and go through the process of actually being in it. Because if you spend so much time trying to figure it out and trying to understand it and not actually living it and experiencing it, you're gonna be severely out of the loop. Very confused from the outside looking in, like, what's going on? I don't get it, right? Because it's not something for you to mentally figure out. It's more meant to be lived through and experienced. And that's what creates the wisdom and the growth and expansion consciously and vibrationally in your life. So definitely, I love to use the word definitely because I'm a very direct person. So like when I say definitely, it's just I'm very solid on it. I feel very solid and confident on it that this energy now is in full effect, and it's now the first shockwave in a way. I like to give energies a kind of like a theme name to help people kind of track it and understand what that energy is here to do. How is it going to affect things around us? But not something to attach to or make it another fantasy, right? So in a way, I feel like definitely it's like a first shockwave. This is a built-up energy release over all the different portals we've been through. We are now in February. So the Pluto return, will be coming in a couple of weeks on the 22nd. And we'll be feeling a lot of those energies even before that day. So don't wait for that day. It's going to be changing a lot as we go forward and get up to that point. And what this means for everybody, what this means for you and for me, for the world we live in, for how things are just going on in society. What does that mean? It means a lot of things are going to come to an end, right? I mean, people get scared of that whole idea of what do you mean it's going to come to an end? Like they're going to lose something, like something they're going to have to pay for something, or they're going to have to now figure out how to survive a different way because they're going to lose something. Any point in time you talk about something is going to dissolve, it's going to disappear, it's going to, move into a higher experience, it's not going to be what it is, people get antsy. They don't like that because the control gets triggered, the expectation that's always going to be there, the premeditation, the ulterior motives that they have, that wherever they are in their life, this is what they're going to end up as. This is what they're going to end up doing. This is what they're going to have. This is what they're going to do with it. And they already have all this made up in their mind, but they're not there. They're not living it. They're not even breathing it. It's not their experience. It's a fantasy. It's a delusion of grandeur that they would like to experience. They would like to have. They would like to, have that lifestyle. But the intention, the process, and working up to that, what you have to go through in yourself to face, to dissolve the blocks that are keeping that out of your experience, that's the work. And that's the half-assed laziness that comes in where we're just like, I just don't want to. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to look at those thoughts. I don't want to deal with my behavioral patterns. I don't want to deal with my reflections from other people that I don't like my interactions. But I'm going to bitch and complain the whole time that my life isn't what I want. It isn't going how I want it, and I don't feel like I am having the best life experience, right? In order to get to the point of saying these things, or even claiming that you're even close to that, you would have to show that you've done work. What appreciation, what respect do you have for not your life, because you thought I was going to go there, but I'm not, yourself, right? Because everyone's externally focused on life. What is life? Right? Is life your 3D, 3D job, your 9-to-5 job, going home, just making dinner, doing the same thing every single day, watching Netflix or binging, or, going out getting really shit-faced and just fucked up with your friends, not caring about everything, having such a controlling, such a suppressive, such a overwhelming job that you go through and you suffer through all week, and to the point where you have to release all that control, so you completely go the opposite on that spectrum, and you lose all your marbles of the weekend. You go batshit crazy. No restraint, no control at all, no sense of consciousness or self-awareness in yourself. You just lose it, right? Because the whole week you've been controlling and stuffing down, waiting till Friday, waiting till 5 o'clock where you get off and you're just like, I don't have to work for 2 days. I can do whatever I want. I can just literally string myself out so thin, and then try to recover myself for the last couple hours before Monday starts, go back to work and do it again. At what point did that actually seem that was consistent? That you could continuously do that for the rest of your life, right? Because, the youth show a pretty good way of doing that, and they burn out fast. And they're young. They crash and burn so much, and they are a prime example of what that lack of restraint, lack of self-awareness and discernment with yourself, what that will cost you by being just completely lack of accountable and irresponsible with your energy, your actions, your choices, that you could manifest some serious experiences for yourself or other people, right? So, bring this all back around in this nutty, crazy 3D society that we all exist in, that we work every single day, try to figure out we don't work, we hate working, want to quit our job, end up quitting our job, not knowing what to do after that, wherever you are in the experience. It doesn't matter, right? Are you okay with that, though? Because one of the biggest things that are going to eat you alive is being in an experience that you don't think you want to be in, but for some reason you think you have to do it. That's just a whole nother layer of dumbness you're going to have to uncover and get through just to get to the core of where you're at. And this is another part of our behavior problem, and just our consistent sabotage. Instead of dealing with the issues that are at the forefront, that are hot on the plate, that are right there in our face, we would rather either pick a different problem to focus on, or our ego is just going to create a new problem to fixate and focus on, therefore distracting us from what we do need to focus on, and we never get to it. And meanwhile, you're running around in circles, spending all this energy on extra things when you could devote that same energy to the same thing, the first original issue on your plate. Get through it, boom. What's the next step? And you can feel that clearing, right? There is far too much energy put into the resistance and the control dramas and the running around in circles 5 billion times before we finally say, you know what, maybe I'll try it. I'm just tired of disappointment now at this point. Maybe I'll finally give it a go and see what I get, because I haven't gotten anything else. Why do you have to break yourself down to the dirt before you're finally going to give it a chance? Are we really that broken in our higher perspective that we can't give it to ourselves for anything? We can't let ourselves win for anything. We can't let ourselves feel good or feel like we achieved anything for anything, because in 2 seconds it's going to be gone, because we're going to be picking it apart and what about this? I should have finished it in this time. I should have done it quicker. I should have done it more smooth and more graceful. I should have done it better. Should have dressed better. Should have looked better. All kinds of bullshit comes out, and people are like, oh, why do I try? Right? The mind is a bitch. Okay? It's going to fuck with you. And people pride themselves so much on their cognitive intelligence, and they completely dismiss everything else that the body feels. The body can pick up on things. The body has other informational inlets that can tell it what's going on, the truth, and it doesn't rely solely on the brain to do all that for itself. You are multidimensional. You are grand. You are beyond what you have stuffed yourself in this little box to believe you are. And this is also part of the cycles that are breaking for humanity. For humanity even to see a higher timeline, for humanity to start pulling ourselves out of this rut that we are in, deeper awareness, deeper conscious awareness is needed for everyone. And the deeper you go, the more sicker you feel, the more grossed out you get at just the dysfunction, the pain and suffering that you keep allowing through you. And you finally stop that. Transform it. Start putting boundaries in place. Start pulling your energy back into center and alignment, back into love. Learning how to forgive yourself. Learning how to, be disciplined. Learning how to be grounded, stable. How to trust again. How to have faith and hope. How to have compassion for yourself and forgiveness. How to nurture yourself through pain that you're already in. There's no sense in denying it. So why not nurture yourself through this to have a better experience, to heal and grow faster, versus dragging yourself through something you don't want to deal with and making a big deal out of it, right? We're going to understand at many, many different levels that our drama as a human race is such a distraction. There's so much in the way of us just facing ourselves, being completely assertive and direct on a lot of concepts, I would say. But all course, no one can get that deep. No one can penetrate to those cores if the vulnerability is not there. If the faith isn't there, if the trust isn't there, if the grounded stability isn't there, what do you hope to open up to expose itself? Nothing. You see, there's a process through everything, and that's what we have to surrender to. It's not a quicker, trick or treat thing where you stick your head in the bag and grab something and go. There's an honor and respect to all of this process, even your demons, your nightmares, your fears, the things that scare you that are inside of you that nobody knows about, that you deal with every day. All of that. It's begging for your love. It's begging for you to end the cycle. Because the thoughts are going to go away. They're going to get nastier. The visions, they're not going to go away. They're going to get freaking weirder and more scarier. The emotions, the sensations, they're going to turn the volume up so high, it is going to drive everyone on this planet nuts. It's already getting to that point, right? All of this is not punishment. This is what the ego will view as a punishment, as apocalypse, as the end of the world. It's like everyone's going to go insane. It's going to be a nightmare. That's the ego, because the ego is going to go through that experience. The more you let go, the more you transform, the more you push back into love, trust yourself, trust your soul, your heart, love your angels, work on your connection, faith, hope, trust in the unknown. You see, where you leave yourself so wide open in these areas, these are massive portals for the ego to come through and hijack you, to manipulate you, to scare you more. And because you don't know that part of yourself, your ego can tell you something about that part, and you don't know better. You'll believe it. All those doubts and those lies, those lower fears and those anxieties and paranoias. If you don't know your part of yourself, that part, if you don't know your trusting self, if you don't know your faithful self, then anybody can tell you about that part of yourself and you won't know any better. You'll create belief systems and delusions out of it. But you won't go there in that part of yourself and explore. Find out where your faith is, how strong your faith is. Grow it, expand it, make your faith stronger. Have you done any of that? With trust, love, forgiveness for yourself. There's always layers going into it. And this is where, again, our half-ass comes in, where we think we've got a certain point, and then we're like, okay, I'm good. And we try to sit back, and we don't want to evolve. We don't want to grow more. We like things to be where we just made it. Like climbing to the top of a rock wall. You get to the top, and you just want to lay there, and you're like, oh, man, thank God I made it. It's like, no. Come from next wall. Let's go. Ding, 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 go. It's keep going to the process. Because if you stop, the ego wants you to get content. Wants you to find a place where a little cozy nook and cranny where you can get all lost in your own little Fantasies and dreams or just get lost in complacency. You pushed hard enough. Take a break. You've been going hard and strong, been doing good. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take a year off. I think I'm not going to worry about this for a couple weeks and just kind of be normal. It's like and I know it's kind of confusing as I'm saying, but it's all coming out of the collective consciousness right now. Like, all is back and forth. The back and forth with yourself, the contradicting yourself, saying one thing, doing the other. And it's like, it keeps going around in a circle. You see it. You caught yourself doing it a couple of times. But then you, let it go. It's like, it's nothing. Does it bother you that you can say things, but then your body goes a different way? It doesn't follows through with what you are expressing. There's something disconnected. If your spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical bodies are not fully aligned, and it is not reflecting the same thing, something is disconnected, whereas allowing two different timelines to come through the same body. Where in humanity, there's a lot of different timelines coming through, and people are not worrying about aligning themselves. All the different parts of yourself are important. Not just the physical, so it has nothing to do with being a gym nut. Not just the spiritual, so it has nothing to do with going to the top of a mountain, being a monk. It has nothing to do with the mental part, completely by itself. So it has nothing to do with going to some big college and being some professor. It has nothing to do with just the emotional part either. So no one's asking you to sit around and save people your whole life and feel their emotions for them. See, all of this has to come into alignment so you can discern and be stable in yourself and constantly align in every moment. You're changing. You're growing. You're letting things go in every moment and picking up new ideas that are higher for you and higher for your experience. You can't do that if you're still looking over your shoulder. Right? Which is also why this collective energy of breaking cycles is here now. Because the more we are released from it, the more the cycles break, the more of our energy returns. The more of our consciousness, the more of our patience, the more of our unused energy returns to us. And we can align it now to something higher. Definitely this weekend, there's a lot of upheaval I feel with that energy. Definitely a lot with, I think, Mars. We'll read a horoscope in a moment, but just a lot of fiery energy where everything is trying to align. The planets just went back into, direct. And of course, there's like a week or so of energy where everything's not completely direct after a retrograde. It kind of needs some days to iron itself out and energies to become calm again. So there's a little bit of that integration period, the friction, agitation, the grinding of the gears as everything is trying to merge and mesh well together into one balanced harmony, right? So there definitely is a little bit of a working there, and you can see that in everyone's kind of like, just what's going on. Some people might be more irritable, more snappy, more just like very tense, walking around with a lot of energy today, yesterday, probably tomorrow, and all of it is just all this processed emotional, mental, body, core energies that are coming together, right? So where we learn to let go of old ideas, learn higher truths for ourselves, at some point, our physical life has to follow suit with it. We've been going through a lot of changes spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. So now this year being the physical year, as we are anchoring that part in, there's definitely a lot of agitation within ourselves, but also between each other in our connections and relationships too, because our process now, emotional, mental, and spiritual self, bodies, are now combining to the physical. So our physical, as it states, is not going to be the same. Now the emotional, mental, and spiritual side is coming in to change the behavioral patterns, change how the physical is working, because it does not reflect how we feel as a collective inside anymore. Does that make sense? Therefore, it's going to come through you physically, individually first, before it hits the collective in a collective experience and makes big changes. Okay? Not saying that there's going to be no events, not saying that there's not going to be any big signs showing this energy is moving through the collective. However, before we get to the big, huge, things going on with the country and all that, definitely a lot of it's going to already be working through the humanity on the individual level. Through us, our individual experience, our life, our families, our close connections and ties, and just the level up. Everything is getting a massive level up now. How you are communicating, how your integrity in those communications and relationships, everything is going to a next level up, right? And so this is also where we hold each other accountable more. And this is just going to come naturally or organically through our energy. We simply want to be a higher divine being. We wish to embody, a higher vibration and consciousness, which is going to push that energy out in the people around us. So everyone is going to start leveling up the more and more this energy comes out, right? So, I know it's a lot of information energetically, but that's why we're not even going into like all the planets and stars. It's so much, right? And a lot of times I feel that it's people are just sponges for information, but they're not actually going to do anything with it. If that triggers you, probably look at it, but it's true. It's so true. You're not going to evolve and heal and get there by just soaking up and absorbing a bunch of information, writing it down and just saying you know it. You got to live it. You got to experience it for yourself, and then keep having those experiences going forward. It's how you keep evolving. It never stops, right? And that's what 3D taught us. That's what the human society taught us, that, all that stuff has a time, a due date. It has an expiration date, and this doesn't. This is the one thing you will continue doing for the rest of your existence, is growing and evolving and expanding, and loving, learning deeper ways of that. This is the one thing will never end for any of us. So get comfortable with it, get really in the basket with love and get acquainted, because it is your partner in life. Everything you will co-create and exist in moving forward is going to come from love. So you got to get to know love very well in yourself, who you are through love, and how you can express that to other people and keep expanding and living. So, horoscope for today. The confrontational Aries moon. Oh, see, there you go. Here's more about the energy. The confrontational Aries moon squares off with Venus in its post-retrograde zone in Capricorn, and action-oriented Mars, also in Capricorn, and harmonizes with Saturn in Aquarius. That's a lot. A planetary square is a fraught astrological aspect that urges us to take action. Since the Aries moon heightens the characteristics of Venus and Mars, we can expect some arguments and frustrations in our relationships. Venus and Mars want to ramp things up and elevate partnerships. But Saturn, which Saturn represents the 3D matrix society, in Aquarius, is holding us back and restricting emotion. So this is a cool collective view right here, where it's showing basically this energy is getting pulled into a kind of like a square off. Like in a wrestling ring match, between Venus and Mars that want to ramp things up and elevate it, to expand it. But of course, we're all in 3D in human society with Saturn, with that Aquarius energy. So that it's gonna really, the Aquarius energy is an air sign. It really helps a lot of information flow. So with that Saturn being opposed or whatever, in the Aquarius energy, it helps a lot of the information about what's holding us back, what's restricting our emotions. It allows that to come to our awareness with that Aquarius energy. So yes, we're acknowledging that we're being held back, but what is holding us back? And that's going to come through that Aquarius energy with all the information, so we can see it and we can cognitively understand what it is, but also we're also being aware of Venus and Mars that are pushing things to another level, right? So it's not one of those moments where you just, you see yourself or you understand where you're at and you need to work on things. No, this is the next level. This is, you need to work on this, and it's kind of like go time now. We're leveling up as we speak, so work on it now. You see, it's a different kind of tone. It's different from the other couple months where we had moments to swim around in it and just kind of be in a funk. Now it's literally pick up the plate and walk with it. We have no time to sit down and dine and talk and drink wine. There's no time. Pick up your plate. Let's go. We're walking with it. You got to eat while you walk. We're multitasking going forward. In this month, we are going to be energetic multitaskers, okay? If you're not a multitasker, you're going to learn to get good at it, because all this is going to be rushing at you really quickly. And a lot of things coming up, cognitively, emotionally, physically and spiritually for you to deal with in the flow as we go, right? There's no more stopping and sitting down. You got to get up and go with it, move with the energy. The more you clear and transform, the lighter it will get. The more you resist and pull back, the heavier it's going to get, because the energy is still going to do its thing. You still got to expand and process. So how you handle this truly is going to really help your experience or not. This combination of planets and astrological aspects can bring out deep-seated sentiments that have been pushed down for years. You may not be able to suppress your emotions, which means they'll come out in the open. But this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It can bring catharsis and personal growth that can help you evolve and change if you allow yourself to. The only way to deal with these energies is to think before expressing yourself. I would change it to feel. Use discernment and feeling before you express yourself. Meditate on what your heart truly wants and then take action toward attaining it. And that's another thing just to touch on too. The expression is not the problem, okay? It does not matter how the expression comes out, what it is. We got to let go more and more and more of the control and the suppression of the expression, okay? Expression is supposed to be authentic. It's supposed to be the realest, transparent, most authentic thing, right? So how it comes out isn't really up to us. It's supposed to be organic. If it comes out of pain, if it comes out of trauma, if it comes out of, some kind of attachment, then good. It came out, it expressed itself, but also now the awareness of where that expression is coming from is also known too. So we can get deeper to the core and we can get it. But this whole trying to downplay things, you'd be like, oh, I'm not triggered. Oh, I'm not thinking about that. Oh, that's not bothering me. The more you want to play stupid with yourself, the more you want to play stupid with everyone around you, the longer you are putting yourself on the delay of actually getting through it, so it's not actually a problem anymore. Right? It's like we spend so much time creating more reasons for more time instead of just dealing with it and moving on. It's simple. So definitely, I love the word definitely. Write your ceremonies. Be assertive and direct in those ceremonies. Write down exactly where you are at, what you got to work on, what you're asking the angels, creation, the elementals, unicorns, dragons, fairies, all of them. Write them in your ceremony. Ask them for assistance. And that's another thing too. It's like there is so much help in creation. Energetically, all of creation is in support of this mission, this ascension process. You'd be so amazed the moment you get a piece of paper and you write, dragons, unicorns, can you please help me? Can you please assist me energetically in some way in healing? Write it down. Say it out loud with your words. The amount of awkwardness and feeling dumb to even think that it's real or to ask something you can't see for help, and all these belief systems are going to keep you in the dark. This is how you don't hear angels. This is how they're never going to pick up the phone. This is how you're not going to get much discernment, intuition coming through, because you think that it's not real. You don't think that it's real for you. You don't think that you have that connection. You don't think that it can be a possibility. You have to restore your childlike magic too and realize that there are things that have been living longer than you in this creation. Thousands and thousands of years, there are beings that have lived and they're still here, looking at you with the same eyes from thousands and thousands of years ago when you were in a different vessel. That's trippy. So you have to get more out of this linear 3D mode where it's like just humans, just physical reality, just tangible materialistic things. That's it. That's not it. That's not it. Right? Start expanding your imagination. What you can allow in your faith and hope and trust to be real, to happen, to be a possibility in creation with the angels, the elementals, the inner earth beings, the galactics. There is so much magic and beauty across creation. For you to play it small in this very mundane, human, materialistic life and just think that's it, it's a very cold world to live in. And no wonder why you're struggling with imagination. You don't have much to go off of. You got to start getting colorful. Letting all those inspirations and passions start to come in. If it goes beyond your borders of comfortability, so what? You ready to die? Are you literally ready to be like 90 plus years old and just lay in your bed and just quit it and just die? Like, is that what you're saying? You're giving up on life. You're too tired to live life. You're too tired of being a human anymore. You just can't human at all anymore. You just need to kick the bucket. What do you want? Because you got to get to a choice at that point too. It's like, if you don't want to push, then you want to go. If you don't want to go, you must want to push. So what do you want to do? You want to live or you want to go? And that's not a scary thing to say. People are like, oh, don't say that. That's going to intimidate people. Well, too bad. Maybe it's a question that finally needs to be said in front of their face so they can finally say, you know what? That's a simple answer. I want to push. I want to live. I want to grow. Well, then let's go. Let's do something, right? But the waiting around, the kind of just like putting things off to the last moment, the kind of just waiting for like that 500th sign. And every time you get a sign, you're like, okay, I'll wait for one more sign. And then I know the angels are telling me it's go. Or like, I'll wait for one more synchronicity. I'll wait for one more person to do or share something to me that's a coincidence or synchronicity, and then I'll do it. It's like wanting limitless amounts of proof and physical evidence for you just to finally accept it for yourself in your heart, in your emotions, in your thoughts, in your spiritual body, that it's already real. And I know it sounds like a lot of talk, but have you actually talked to yourself about this? Have you actually sat down and had a conversation with yourself and went through this kind of dialogue and saw where in this your thoughts are actually attached to? Where you actually do believe this? Where you don't trust that? Where you actually have written this off completely and you are in complete denial of it? You see, you got to figure out where you are at in this, so you can figure out what to, transform and move around. But you got to dive in. You got to get to know yourself. And these cycles breaking it's gonna bring a lot more of that up to the surface for us. The more of these old patterns leaving, all we're gonna have left is the new. So I realize it's probably not the funnest experience to everybody on the planet right now. However, the silver lining for everybody is that once these cycles have made it, at least halfway through or more, we're definitely going to feel a lot lighter because we're going to feel all that old crap fall off, and all that energy, which is not being siphoned off into a loop anymore, is going to come right around to us and help support, rejuvenate, and align what we are in the present moment doing actively. So that means our lives right now, present, are about to expand a lot. And everyone doing their work, everyone is pushing through, doing their healing and transformation, breaking these cycles and returning their power back to themselves. When this really hits the collective energy, it's really going to start expanding us like you would not believe. It's going to be crazy. The physical experience is definitely going to speed up this year. So, I don't know shit. Not saying any specific things are happening, but definitely it's changing. Lots and lots of changes for everybody. Let's see, where are we all at? Let's see. What did Dominic say? I fucked that up the other day. I take accountability. Thank you. What? Fucked what up? Oh, he said, I did that this evening and I carry plates for a day job. Yeah, see? Dominic knows. You gotta multitask now. It's not this one and done thing. It's not this linear thing where I'm gonna do this task and then I'm gonna move over to this station and then I'm gonna move over to this station. Like, no, you gotta be cognitive. You gotta be like self-observant of what your energy is doing, what's going on, thoughts coming in, working on projects, pushing things. You chill out. Like everything you're doing, you are being consciously aware of it. There's never a moment where you should be unconscious, where you should just be like, oh, I'm too tired to think. I'm too tired to be consciously aware, observe myself. I'm just gonna sometimes it's kind of pointless to even explain because you know what I'm saying because we all do it. So it's a hijack. It's choosing to be lazy. It's choosing just to, go this far, and even if there's just like an inch left, you're like, well, I did all the rest. I got this far, it's all right. Why do we feel like cheating ourselves out? Cutting the corners, the last point, when that truly is the breakthrough point for us, right? So keep pushing. Encouragement, right? I know you spent a whole 35 minutes on the stream really nailing it out and getting nitty gritty with it, with the fire energy. But guess what? After we go through all that and we call it all out and we look at all that stuff where we are getting stuck in, come back to compassion. Come back to acceptance, right? Because you can't change everything in a day, right? You can't heal everything in the world in a day. And it's not being linear. It's not thinking you know better. It's not projecting that healing can happen. It's about using discernment and not overwhelming yourself in the present moment with things that are irrelevant. Focus on what's highest right now for you. Where you are, what you're stuck on, and just focus on encouraging yourself, pushing yourself through, inspiring yourself, right? There's a lot of times we don't use our tools properly. You could be watching movies, listening to music. You could be watching videos on YouTube. You could be talking to people. There is so many different ways to get inspiration and to, your imagination to be sparked with creativity and ideas and color. There's so many different ways for that to happen. But if you're not open and vulnerable, if you're not allowing yourself to be exposed to that, if you are in control and you are limiting your experience to these few outlets that experience can actually get to you, well, then you are slowing yourself down. You're delaying yourself. Open up more. Open up all the doors and see what comes through, because that's truly what your palette, all your colors inside need, right? It needs more color. It needs more vibrancy. It needs expression, right? And it's only going to come from newness. It's only going to come from constant evolution and growth. What artists do you feel literally made a living off of all the old crap? No. All the artists were amazing artists because they were present in their time and they created things from that time with the emotions and the thoughts and the concepts of the people in that era, right? And it made amazing artwork and beautiful pieces, right? You don't see any kind of, up-and-coming artists now today trying to go back and try to, copy Michelangelo and redo all that all over again. Picasso, I'm gonna be Picasso number 2 now. I'm gonna do it all over again. It's not the era anymore, right? It's not the same vibe, not the same energy. The people's consciousness isn't the same anymore to where it would align with those pictures and those colors and the way the art is, right? So same concept now. You are a new artist. This is your new beginning. With your life, with everything that's going on right now, create something new. Put all of your energy into something new and create with it. Paint something new relative to this now moment. Where you are, what you just broke through, what you are pushing yourself through, what you are up and coming and you're going to achieve. Your goals, your wishes, your dreams. Things now. Miracles of love everywhere present now. And paint and create from that, right? I saw a really, really cool... actually, let me look at it because I feel I have it saved in my phone. It was a cool post I saw on Facebook, I believe. And someone was talking about your body and trauma. And it's from Aya Ehime. I'm pretty sure I pronounced it properly, I hope. But anyways, they shared, you got to resurrect the deep pain within you and give it a place to live that's not within your body. Let it live in art. Let it live in writing. Let it live in music. Let it be devoured by building brighter connections. Your body is not a coffin for pain to be buried in. Put it somewhere else. And that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Because it's a whole process of what they're sharing is, it's in your body. It's acknowledging it. But it's not supposed to stay there. But how you heal that, how you go about moving that out of your body, you have to put it into something. And you're not throwing it into the garbage because it's still a piece of you. You're not abandoning it on the side of the street and walking away like pretending that it didn't exist, because it's still a piece of you. What it needs is your forgiveness. What it needs is a new start, a new chance, a new beginning. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that pain from inside our body and we are going to put it into something new, with a new fresh start, a new beginning with love. We're going to replant it into something new, right? And that's what we are sharing about going through this healing process. A lot of the things you're going to do to get out of this hole and to heal yourself and to get your power back and to stand on your own 2 feet, a lot of them are not going to be things that you've done before. It's going to have to be new in a whole new way. And you just got to figure it out. And I'll share with you, that's one of the simplest, best things that God has ever shared. When you don't know shit, you don't know what's going on, perfect place to be in. When you think you're losing your mind and nothing makes sense, perfect place to be in. Just stay in your heart and go through that process. Because we truly want everything to make sense, want everything to be 100% clear, and we want to have the whole roadmap from here to Z. Everything that happens. So we don't get surprised, we don't get hurt, we don't have to plan and everything. It's such a boring, dramatic thing we do with linear time, right? Let it all go. Keep focusing on the present moment, where we are, what's coming up, what needs to go, and focus on how to put that into something. Dancing, coloring, singing, music, art, going for walks, being in nature, playing with animals, babies, all kinds of different things, all kinds of things in the world you can do, some people like to work. There's nothing wrong with working, everything is about the intention. A lot of people find joy in working a job because it gives them that motion through the day where they can keep processing and moving energy, right? Everything is about intention. If you're doing it to escape, if you're doing it so you don't have to go home and face the wife and the children, if you're doing it so you don't have to, live your life and actually focus on you, so you're going to be distracted at work all day, so you have to go home, knock out, wake up, go back to work, so you never have time for yourself. It's all about intention. How you're doing it, why you're doing it, and how you're handling it, it all dictates the end result, right? So again, how we're using our tools, how we're going about our experience, how we're choosing to live our life, all that's going to add up ultimately, and it's going to equal something. If you're doing it with love, it's going to be grand. If you're dealing with shit, it's going to be sucky in the end, right? And you have no one to blame because it's your own energy you're manifesting with. So, it's cutting cords, letting everything go. It's not about judging ourselves. It's not about belittling ourselves or, trying to tear ourselves down, right? We acknowledge where we are so we can get better. We look at where we are and we take accountability and responsibility for what we are doing so we can get better. It's not to hurt ourselves. It's not to diminish ourselves further. It's not to make ourselves feel less. It's not to be in a comparison thing with other people. It's not for you to feel like you're the dog coming up again, or what do they call that damn thing? I forgot the angels. The underdog. Thank you, Angels. I was like, what is that word? Underdog. If you feel like you're the underdog, you have to constantly uprise against your opposers and all the competition all the time. You're like, it doesn't matter, whatever it is. We look at it and acknowledge where we are and accept it, because now that's the piece that we need to get back to our whole self. It never is a diminishment. It never is a loss. It never is a failure. It never is something low for you to scare you from looking at it. It's not supposed to be. If it is, it's just your mind playing tricks on you, and you need to tell it to shut up. Okay? Get back in the heart, put your hand on your chest, feel your heart space, and just be love. Breathe your way through the process. Okay? This energy is going to get more and more and more assertive as we get into this month. Okay? I don't know if y'all understand much about astrology. I'm still a beginner myself. However, this Pluto returns, not playing games, okay? I know energy very well, and just feeling from the energy of it and just seeing what that energy is pulling in, it's a lot. And it's not one of those, we have high pressure today, you might have some soreness in your back and your shoulders, you might be a little stiff. Oh no, I'm talking about a full-on meltdown, okay? That energy is going to be hot. It's coming for everybody, and it's not something to be scared of. It's coming to break down everything holding us back from a new life, a new beginning, a brighter future. You can't have it if you can't get there. So this planet, Pluto return, is coming to really bring, and I'm not going to say it's the end of everything, it's all going to fall on the 22nd, no. This energy coming in around that time and on that portal day, it's like a very big knife, okay? It's going to cut deep, straight through everything. And it's going to create an opening. And 9.9% out of 10 times, that's all energy needs for a massive release. Some kind of penetration, some kind of, outlet, wherever that core is. If it can have even a little bit of an opening and that energy can release, game over. And that's exactly what this Pluto return is. It is coming to pierce the veil. Straight through 3D, 4D, whatever you want to call it all. It's gonna cut straight through it all. Okay? And that's going to create an opening, a gap for energy to also release density, but also for higher consciousness and vibration to pour straight in. And since you have a cut to the you have a penetration to the core, it works both ways. There's energy releasing from the core now, but also higher energy and vibration can now pour straight through down that chute into the core without having to push through the outer walls. So it's a double effect. It's a double-edged sword, right? So this is what that plan is coming to puncture, like a catalyst, really let off a lot of energy to release, but also there's a lot going to pour in to kind of offset that balance, right? We're not going to have a deflated balloon. It's still going to be the same size. But there has to be that, the volume inside has to maintain itself in harmony. So as it's releasing all this lower density, the higher energy will come in and balance it out so it still maintains the same volume mass, if that makes sense. So, a little science biology class for y'all, everybody. Chemistry I hated, absolutely hated. And physics. Distaste physics a lot. But yeah, let's see. Any questions from anybody? I feel it's about time we get to the cards. Do 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 do. Oh, I love you all. On the road traveling, listening to Roadside Nuggets. Candace says, energy is so fast, makes me feel dizzy. Yeah, it's coming in. I feel Mary said, or it was like earlier today or yesterday, Mary said she was feeling really dizzy. The energy. But yeah, definitely stay hydrated, stay grounded. And even if you are, it doesn't mean you're not doing it. I mean, sometimes we release big bulks of energy, and it's a lot for us to process all at once, and we might feel really flighty in that moment. We might feel really spinny or feel like out of a body, or we might pass out, and then really that's just a lot of energy releasing in that moment. Nothing's wrong. It's just your body was ready to go through that process. So then we don't freak out. We don't be dramatic. We just, like Mary, she's like, oh yeah, feel a little spinny. I'm going to go outside and sit down and have a grounder. She just calmly, gracefully moves through the experience. She observes herself. She's aware, okay, this is going on. All right, how do I support myself? I'm going to go do this. And you see Mary gracefully walk out, have a cig, and she's just relaxing, hearing the birds. And that's what we have to do. It's not about cry wolf. The moment something happens, when something goes on, you support yourself. Show up for yourself and help yourself through the process, right? We don't just sit down and quit like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Someone come save me. It's too hard. It's like, no, get up, come on, get through it, and the more you support yourself, the more you show up for you, you're going to realize that it's actually building more confidence and trust in yourself. I know that's kind of like funny to say that. You're like, why wouldn't I trust myself? Why wouldn't I be confident in myself? Because you're not. And until you see yourself, literally witness yourself do it in real time, it literally is the same effect as somebody else. They're not going to be able to trust you either. You have to show it. Show yourself you can trust yourself. Show yourself you can depend on you to show up when you need it. And I know it's kind of confusing. People are like, well, Why are you saying it like I'm a third person? It's like you're so multidimensional, you don't even go there, man. We'd be here all night, right? Just show yourself that you can do all these things for you first before worrying about doing it for someone else or someone else doing it for you first, okay? And that should change a lot of things in your thinking and how you're going about things behavioral pattern-wise, and you should get some different results. Just give it a try, okay? All right, let's do some cool card pullings. We're going to do a sassy rebel deck. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to write a number down. Number. Righty. All right, so angels. Cool. All right, number is written. Folks on Telegram, YouTube, and Facebook, go ahead into the comment box and put down what number you feel it is, 1 through 100. Excuse me. If you feel it, put it down. We'll do the sassy cards real quick. So, sassy unicorn cards. All right. Oh, yeah. Thank you for your hearting me, because I surely did forget that one. All right, so before we get to the cards, the angels just heard me about the class for tomorrow, so thank you very, very much. So tomorrow it originally was on the website for it being a training workshop class tomorrow. Tomorrow is not the actual first workshop class. Tomorrow is just going to be a live seminar for everybody to join. It's going to be free. However, I realize with this is kind of a big thing to explain. I can't really explain it that fast, but for an example, anyone who's like familiar with the Reiki, Qigong, quantum healing, or theta healing, or anything around the sorts, crystal, energy healing. There's lots of other different kinds of healing modalities, basically. But if you're familiar with the energetic healing background, this is definitely more of your cup of tea. Anyone who is interested in that or would like to try it out or just see if how they do in that, definitely it's open to everyone. There's no pros or beginners or newbies, or we're not doing that. Everyone has a massive capability to mastering this and learning how to self-heal themselves, and also just share this wonderful healing in space with other people and assist other people through their healing experience. So definitely, if that's on your heart, for you humanitarians out there, for all you beings that are ready to push on mission for the next step and phase in your development and evolution. Also, those for you who are definitely wanting to push more and tapping with your angels, working with the divine in different ways, the elementals, the galactics, and earth beings, dragons, unicorns, you name it. If you're interested in working more with those beings and including them in your healing experiences on a daily basis, and also working with them as far as like channeling messages and just helping other people, definitely this is a class for you. It's going to be more than 10 workshops. More of this information will be given tomorrow during the seminar. So I'm not going to do too much of it now. I realize I'm doing it now. But definitely just come join us tomorrow. It's going to be around 6 or 7 p.m. Make sure that we update everybody and put it on the Facebook and website. But it's free of charge. Just come and see, if it pings you in your heart, if you feel like, just hearing the words that it's, you feel like you're resonating with it and it's something you want to try. Even if you don't think you're the smartest person in the room, that you're gonna get it. It doesn't matter, okay? You might surprise yourself and realize you have a very natural talent for working with energy. You just didn't know it yet, So everyone is a Pandora's box, I like to say. So you're a hidden mystery inside, and you don't really know what that is until you start digging through it. So come join us tomorrow. It'll be really, really fun, and it'll be awesome to see you all, okay? All right, back to cards for Unicorn Rebel deck. Whoopee! All right. Alrighty. So for the collective, that one, and then Beyond Lemuria. All right. Beautiful. And we brought back the spirit animal cards for this evening. So we're going to pull those cards. Oh my. Looks like the card's been doing some somersaults in the box. Kind of crazy looking. Okay. All right. Coolio. Ooh. Ho, 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 ho. That one kind of flying out. All right. Ooh, it shows. Oh, beautiful. All right. Let's spark off with the Sassy Unicorn card. So for the collective for this evening, the angels want to share with you from the Sassy Unicorns. Get the fuck outside and move your ass. Your body is pissed at you. Interesting. So everyone's getting a collective call out from the angels. Get your ass outside, get on the ground, your body is pissed at you. So therefore, you're not moving your body enough, you're not getting your body out to ground and, release all that energy enough. You're not restoring yourself with the natural elements enough, the sun, the air, the elements. Like, hello, you're real. You're not a plant, in the soil, but you're as real as a plant is, So photosynthesis, working with the sun, the moon, breathing actual real air, not sitting inside an air conditioner all the time. Like, these things do start to affect you. I mean, they really, really do. So, everyone make a conscious effort to be more physically active, or just move yourself outside. Just be active. Like, it doesn't have to be like go to the gym and sweat yourself for a whole hour. It just means like literally 5 minutes. Go outside. Feel the grass between your toes, touch a tree, feel the bark in your hands, go for a walk. If you have a dog would very much appreciate that if you took it for a walk with you multiple times a day. Just get out of your little box and you're going to start feeling like more yourself. This next one is full spectrum. Step out of the black and white mentality of good and bad. Honor the full spectrum of life and see through fresh eyes. When we judge something, we create a story around it. And often these stories are limiting. Over a lifetime, we subconsciously gather so many of these stories, create a space of no story for miraculous healing and crystallizing new paths. This space empowers us to know our truth and be all we are. Embrace creation in all her colors, including the raw, muddy, earthbound shadow parts of a situation, to determine whether your stories are limiting your perspective. Let the compost of the challenges you have overcome feed new shoots and blossoms. Beautiful. And the card that jumped out, the first was 61, Turkey Spirit. Give with gratitude and grace. Dun, 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 dun. And the second card we had, that was the first card, the Turkey card. Excuse me. Oh, you're right, angels. And I didn't really show that one either. That was the full spectrum one. All right. And then this is the Canary Spirit, number 12, Sing Your Own Song. And I feel that's a powerful combination between those two cards. Like, giving with gratitude and grace, but also singing your own song. Like, that combination is so powerful in just the context that you are not just giving solely based off other people. You're not some machine to produce for other people, to do what they want, or produce what they want you to produce for them, right? So, giving with gratitude and grace, but also singing your song. Being empowered and confident in yourself while you give with grace. Because as you give, you're not disempowering yourself at the same time. You are not depleting yourself at the same time as you give. You're giving because you can. Because you are overflowing and you can give. Because you've done you've done your work to fill yourself first. That's how that works. So I really like that combination of the angels, like giving with gratitude and grace, but also singing your own song. Because you don't get lost in the sauce. You don't disappear. Your importance does not disappear simply because you're giving, or you're being, you're giving with gratitude and grace. You're being a being of service, service of love to humanity. You're supporting other people. That doesn't end, or you don't, diminish. You don't disappear. Your energy still stands the same. What is this little weird little phone that's on Telegram is like glitching out, it's like sending me little warning signs. This is weird. Gobble gobble. Yeah, single song of gratitude. So I need to get to that card actually. So let's shoot through here. So number 12, Canary Spirit, sing your own song. Canary Spirit arrives to help you find your authentic voice and express what is in your heart. So aligned with what we're just talking about. Free yourself to experience your inner light and let it shine, as Canary Spirit sings to your heart you of your inherent joy and to support you as you sing your own song. Now is the time to let the world know who you really are. Canary Spirit's message is that you are free to be yourself and express your most cherished desires. The world wants to hear your song. If your inquiry is about a relationship, you're being called to fully be yourself, for only then will you find harmony and joy. You can make music with others so beautifully when you note your rings too. When your note rings true. Oh, when your note rings true. I was like, I got dyslexic for a whole moment. Are you suppressing your true voice? Perhaps trying to sing the song you think people want to hear instead of your own. Oh. You create a cage around your life when you express only what you think will help you fit in and get what you think you want. Are you hiding the real you? Telling a safe story about yourself to others because you are afraid they will think you're too different if they knew the truth. Canary Spirit comes to help you express yourself in a more honest and authentic way. Yes, not everyone will agree with you. In fact, not everyone will want to hear your originality or accept your uniqueness. You must not give this a single care. There will be a plenty of people, opportunities, and wonderful new experiences that arrive as if by magic once you open your cage door and fly free. Canary Spirit is cheering for you and wants you to know you are safe and loved. Find your voice and have courage to spread your wings and sing out loud. The world needs to hear your song. Beautiful. And then we have the Gobble Gobble Spirit, the Turkey Spirit. We have the Gobble Gobble Spirit. Let's see. Turkey Spirit's message for you is that you always have the potential for manifesting a rich reality. For the turkey represents generosity and a celebration of abundance through giving to others. Give freely without expectation, and you shall receive. For the manifestation of abundance is happening right now. Align with it by sharing your good fortune with others. Whether you give money, loving guidance, the gift of listening, or kindness in any form. Immerse yourself in the flow of generous abundance, being a channel for Turkey Spirit and the desire of Spirit to see all beings experience the blessing of plenty. Give with gratitude and grace, from a wellspring of love and compassion, knowing that Spirit will respond by giving you all that you need in this moment and all moments to come. Are you giving in order to receive in kind? Keeping tally of how much you have given and what is owed to you. Ooh, this is not the way to experience abundance. When Turkey Spirit is in the protection position, it is very harder to let go of any perception of scarcity or fear that if you give too much, you will not have enough for yourself. Use your spiritual practices to reconnect with your spirit and remember how it feels to embody abundance, and you will give as much as is needed right now. Know that whatever you need will fill your stores, and it is coming to you right now. Love, prosperity, knowledge, and assistance from allies who are everywhere and want you to be the abundance you seek. Turkey Spirit is here to tell you that everything evens out when you are aligned with the law of abundance, and Spirit wants you to be. Abundance is yours. Beautiful. Little bit of thing, definitely the angels are making me go back. Something needs to be reworded in here. I felt it halfway reading through. It was like, nope, it's not vibing. Oh, okay. I feel like in so many words, it was creating the idea of like basically you just need to like give with with abandon, just kind of like be very non-discerning and just give, and the abundance will always come back to you, and that's not true. You give to a black hole, you're going to be sucked dry. You give to takers, they're going to take everything you have, and you're going to be depleted. So definitely kind of want to go back and revamp that idea because it is so on key with everything. However, the boundaries are important too because we're not blind givers. Okay, we don't give to everything, right? Only to love. Love is what we give to, and so we have to be discerning and consciously aware of what we are giving our energy to, because if it is not, it's going to be a black hole, and we are depleting ourselves. We are taking from ourselves in that way too. So always be a giver. Always give with gratitude and grace. Use your discernment too, and make sure that you're not giving to lowers or feeding other lowers. They're not gonna, you're not gonna save them by giving more of yourself to them. Okay, so practice boundaries, please. All right, let's go forward, everybody. Let's see what we've got. I feel it's time. All right, you awake? Let's go. Wake up. All right, so let's moving forward. We have a number, and it is number 33, folks. So, did you get number 33? I got number 33 because I wrote it down on the book. So, what did you get? Let's see the numbers. We got Facebook, Telegram, we got YouTube. All right. So the number is 33. I got 14, 72, 48, 22, 67, 74, and a 50. Beautiful. Let's go on over here to Telegram and see what we got. Let's see now. Whenever that decides to open that one up, and then we'll look on YouTube over here. Oh, there's a lot of comments over here. I'll go back and read the comments too. 17, 42, 22, and 33. At 9:02, it was a 33. It's 9:16, so I know it didn't just happen. So good job, Anna L, on that beautiful. We got that one, and then we have. Oh wait, we gotta check YouTube because there could still be another person. I'm not gonna write everybody off. Let's see. And nope. So the winner is Anna. So good job, beautiful love. Give me 1 second to pull those cards up, and then had comments. Cecilia was saying yes. Never held a Monday to Friday job for long. Just can't do it. And I've still gotten by just fine. Yeah, see? Warrior of Time replied, I totally agree with you. I do this too. I'm an early retiree and I don't want to work for this corrupt system. Yes, because too many people connected with the matrix and can be consumed by like a battery. Unfortunately, they know nothing else. It is difficult to disconnect these people because they still hang in their matrix. Luckily, it's not your job or... Luckily, it's not your job or responsibility. I don't mean this is my job or my responsibility. Do my homework, blow. Yeah. Like I said, like just energies are coming through the communications, just everyone's a little testy, it's all good. We're all good. But definitely, I like all comments. I like both, what Cecilia shared and the Q Warrior Time shared as well, because, he's a retiree and he's sharing that, he sees the matrix. He sees the system. He's done. He's pulled out. He's no longer supporting that anymore. He doesn't want to work for that, and then you have, Cecilia, who's never really, worked that consistent 9-to-5 job. It wasn't an experience for her. And she got by just fine. There's a belief system or a fear that they try to put in the collective that if you don't have, a consistent or stable job or a full-time job, that it's going to be harder for you to have a way of living. It's going to be harder for you to acquire things, and it's going to be even harder, especially if you're a single person or if you have a family with dependents. How you're going to take care of your children, not having a full-time job. That causes a lot of immediate fear in any adults, because they start thinking about the bills. They start thinking about health insurance and food and diapers, all kinds of different things that cost some money, and they don't see how any other way other than working that 9-to-5 job, that's the only way they're going to be able to get by with that. Of course, if we had better communities, if we had more connections with each other, we supported each other as a village or community would, those things would not even be a problem to where someone would choose to stay in a situation like that and suffer more because they feel that's the only way out for them. They feel like that's the only answer they have at that time. And thank God for these cycles breaking, because it's breaking a lot of people out of that loop, so they can see that that's not the only option. There are other ways, but they got to be, they got to get this fear and stop being scared of taking that jump, because it can change as soon as it happens. So yeah, brilliant, beautiful. Yes, Anna L. Thank you, angels. We are on Anna. Let's go, angels. Where's my sassy unicorn deck? All right. You're so welcome, Jingling Janet. I love you. Oh yeah, we're gonna be learning a lot of stuff, especially tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, but during the quantum healing workshop course. We're gonna be learning about tools, working with different things, tarot cards, oracle cards, different tools, tobacco, weed, alcohol, you name it. We're going to be going through pretty much the main basic tools and learning how to work with them, how to work in unison with them, multitasking, depending on what we are processing or dealing with at any point in time. And yeah, I feel at this point we're all adults. Why are we going to sit here and pretend like these superficial people, oh, well, you should do this at this time? No, we're going to do it during the class with everybody in the same experience, and we're going to learn as we go through it. It's going to be live. It's going to be a real experience. It's going to be fun. So, all right, card for Anna L. Let's see. Well, stop texting, stop stalking, stop checking on that person, stop. Just fucking stop. I don't know what this is. Spend your time on someone worth it. Don't waste it on ridiculousness. This is a really great card for everybody too, because as these cycles are breaking, this is a common theme. It's going to get more and more relative to us all, okay? Stop, stop, stop. Just stop. Completely just stop. What does that sound like to you? Cycles breaking, right? Because in order to break the cycle, we're just going to have to stop certain things. And then that energy can actually flip into something new, right? But as long as we're going to keep continuing the same pattern, the same thing, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, there's never actually a break where we're like, okay, something else, okay? So, awesome card from the angels. Then we got Lemuria, beyond Lemuria. Let's see. Actually, drink some water. All right. So this is the Star Seer. That's a really pretty card. It looks like a cosmic elf-like purple, beautiful colors. It says, have you ever headed toward a specific destination, but instead of it being where you ended up, the journey was the catalyst for getting you where you were meant to go? Have you ever felt nothing was working out as planned, but then it came together perfectly? This card depicts intuition as a goddess lifting us up to see where we are going and the stars she sees in us. The journey may not go as planned, but the outcome is better than you thought possible. Let the serendipities unfold. Allow space for unexpected opportunities, even when the route is not as direct as you imagined. Listen to your intuition and know you have got this. Beautiful. All right, and last but not least, we got the Animal Spirit Oracle cards. Dun, 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 dun. I thought I had like a drum roll thing, but I don't see anything. All right, cool. I still got it. I was a little sad earlier. I looked for it. All right. Wait, someone putting numbers? Spartica, it's a little too late to pick numbers. Thank you for participating, though. A little bit earlier next time, and then we can include you. Let's see. Ooh, that's a pretty card. Number 50, Rhino Spirit. Overcome any obstacle. Looks like the angels are ramping you up for something big, love, coming. I would get my shoes tied and ready to go. It looks serious. Got a big old beautiful rhino with golden lights around it with butterflies and beautiful flowers around the head. It's awesome. So number 50, Rhino Spirit. Overcome any obstacle. Let's see what they have to share. Number 50. We always have the choice to press ahead, and Rhino Spirit's strength offers you the power to break through stubborn obstacles. This animal spirit knows where there is more than one way to open a path to what you seek. When Rhino Spirit appears, you are rewarded that you have a marvelous ability to overcome obstacles in multiple ways. By going around them, shattering them with the force of clear, deliberate intentions, or even transforming them into clouds that drift away by refusing to allow them to limit you. Apply your Rhino Spirit with creativity, and no obstacle can stand. For you have magic to make and many ways in which to make it. Your power is awesome right now. Rhino Spirit also wants to remind you that when an obstacle appears to prevent you from getting to where you desire, it means that something much better is coming. Keep that in heart when you consider the nature of the obstacle in front of you now. Great Spirit loves you so much and only wants the best for you. The appearance of an obstacle in front of you offers you a choice. Barrel into it and bang your head, or find your easiest way around it and don't fight it. Are you exhausted by your efforts to break through an obstacle? Are you stubbornly insisting that there is only one way to remove it from your path? Rhino Spirit is here to tell you that sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes it is no, not yet. And sometimes it is no, not the way you think it should be. Open to new possibilities, and you will find other options begin to appear. Not every conflict is worth engaging in, and not every obstacle is worth resisting head-on. Don't waste energy banging your head against the wall. That's collectively for everybody. I definitely felt resonant pings for everybody in there. And the force doesn't work all the time, right? You can be so intentional, and very, focused on that, and that can work sometimes. Other times, what you think it is, and how you think it's supposed to happen, it isn't. But we could be so devoted and stubborn in it being that way that we ultimately screw it up. We ultimately sabotage ourselves, or we miss our opening because we are looking at over here, right? So remain detached, remain trusting, open, and also always be. I don't know how you would even explain that. I would like to say an open clause with myself is how I would have worded it. Always make sure there's an open clause of yourself, that nothing is permanent, nothing that you as your being, your morals, your values, your principles, your inner law, if you have one as a being, make sure you have an open clause with yourself, that you are not so devoted, so invested in it that it rules you, that it rules your life, that your principles control your life and your purpose, that you always have an open clause that you can change it when you need to. Because you're always going to grow. You're always going to expand and become more. Therefore, this open clause allows you to come back to yourself look, this was a great boundary. It got me this far. It doesn't suit me anymore. It's not a benefit. So I can let this go. I can work on something else. I can push this energy forward now. So it's an open clause. You can always, ramp up your values. You can always, elevate your principles and morals in life. Your perspective, how you see life, should always be able to change and grow with you. It should never be this time capsule 20, 30 years ago that doesn't change, but your body keeps growing. You see? So again, that's for everybody, more for everybody to like really feel into and just see the resemblance with that. You're welcome, love. I love you. Feel that's about it from angels. Yep, they just said receive from your angels more, stop being stubborn. Pretty simple today, love. But that's also for us all too. As we are getting through these cycle breaks, of course, they're cycles for a reason. They're behavioral patterns for a reason. We got stuck in them for a reason, whether it was temptation, whether it was just like fear, or whatever it was. So just being able to be transparent with yourself, let it go. Like, look, it's breaking. See everything coming up right now as a cycle ready to break. And all it needs is your forgiveness. It needs your acceptance, your unconditional love, your compassion for it, and soothe it back into love. It's a part of you that literally has been living for years and years and years unworthy, in hatred, in pain and suffering. When are you finally gonna love yourself enough to accept that part back, forgive it, stop judging yourself, stop belittling yourself, stop comparing yourself, and finally just accept you for who you are? And once you actually love yourself, you can grow into anything. You can become anything. But you got to have something to work with. So you got to heal all your wounds, okay? I love you all. Take care of yourself this weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday. Back on Tuesday for live stream. However, tomorrow is going to be the training live seminar for the quantum healing energy course. So that'll be tomorrow around 6 or 7 p.m. And then, of course, live stream with probably Cat now. I don't know anymore. It's all organic. It switches around. But some of it will be here for tomorrow morning live stream. And then we'll have updates for the class later that evening. So, just work on yourselves. Remember, the rest of this weekend is going to be a little bit high in energy, irritability, triggers, a lot of things coming up as we, get more into harmony with ourselves. The planets just went direct, so there's going to be a couple of days until that retrograde energy kind of balances out. So don't expect things just to come, perfectly online and be smooth as butter today or this weekend. It's not. And you can definitely see where those communications and just the different interactions with people, they're still coming back into flow. It's coming back from the deep trenches of internal work, and now it has to align with the external world, which is very chaotic right now. So it kind of needs some moments of patience, nurturing, letting things go, not being attached, and you'll balance out. Okay, so I love you all. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the weekend or what's left of it, and we will see you all back on Tuesday if we don't see you tomorrow for the healing class. And yeah, just keep pushing. Encourage yourselves, inspire yourselves, stay positive and optimistic. Don't be delusional though, okay? Be real with yourself. And that's the quickest way through it, through love. All right, I love you all. Have a beautiful, beautiful night.